Hello, my name is Eric Button. I'm a proud alumni of Burning Tree, and I do family support work for us and business development. Welcome to Burning Tree Program Spotlight. Burning Tree is a family-owned organization with 4 facilities. Burning Tree Ranch is the initial facility that David Elliott created in 1999. It's outside of Dallas in Kaufman. Burning Tree Ranch is a long-term drug and alcohol treatment center for men and women who are chronic relapsers. Average length of stay is 8 to 14 months of residential treatment with a year of what we call transitions. It's an implementation of what and put into practical applications what's been facilitated in residential. In 2004, David Elliott created Burning Tree Lodge. Burning Tree Lodge is been rebranded this 2 years ago, Renewal Lodge by Burning Tree. It is a 30/60 treatment center, in-network provider with all major insurance companies in the United States. It is a clinically advanced mindfulness approach to the 12 steps. And then this year, David Elliott teamed up with Jessica and Josh Slay to reopen Awakenings Hill Country, which is an all-women's residential treatment center. They use a trauma approach to the steps. And then in Tucson, Arizona, David Elliott created Burning Tree West. Burning Tree West is a collegiate and a young adult program. And we want to bring on Gail York. Gail York is a licensed professional counselor in the Dallas area. Gail is with North Texas Counseling and Education Center. She has a private practice. And Gail is also does work with a very prominent intensive outpatient there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and soon to be Houston, Arise Recovery. And we're very fond of Arise. So, Gail, I want to welcome you to Burning Tree Program Spotlight. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, what a joy. Lauren Juvers, one of our national business development representatives that lives in Dallas, she suggested that Gail comes on the show today, and we're very honored.
Thank you. Thank you. Lauren's great.
Yeah, we're very blessed to have Lauren. So yes, thank you. Gail, how did you decide that you wanted to become a counselor?
I always believed that therapy works for everyone. And I actually went to a therapist when I was, in my 30s for the first time. Right out of college, I studied psychology and sociology in college and in graduate school, but actually was a flight attendant for a while. And while I was a flight attendant, I found an amazing therapist where I lived who said, you definitely need to be a therapist. And it was just kind of an interesting thing that I was like, yeah, I was in graduate school for that. And then this happened and life happened. And then decided, you know what? I really love helping people. And I'd done a lot of volunteer work counseling. So I went back and got my master's in mental health counseling and marriage and family therapy. And the rest was history. So I've been doing this for over 15 years now. But I just I personally have gotten so much out of the therapeutic process, and you can't keep it in. You've got to give it away, and that's what has helped me help others.
So if you went from being a flight attendant,
yes,
to going back to school and recreating yourself.
yes.
So you heard a message. You heard a message from a passenger on a flight.
No, it was a therapist that I went.
Okay.
Who
misunderstood?
No. A therapist that I went to who is amazing. He's retired now. He and his wife had a private practice together, and the two of them just sat me down one day and said, "You need to be a therapist."
Wow.
And so I handed in my resignation, and the rest was history. So,
well, congratulations on following your dreams and listening to others, which is a big part of what we get to follow through with when we go to therapy.
Right.
How did you figure out you liked working with marriage, or you like to work with married couples?
I think it was more not so much that I realized that I while I was in graduate school, they offered a certificate in marriage and family therapy, and I thought, I'm doing this, I'm going to do it all. So I just went in, and I actually am former president of the Marriage and Family Therapists of Central Florida. I moved here from Florida a couple of years ago. And I realized in working with clients that none of us are alone. We need the support and help of those around us. And it doesn't always have to be the spouse or but it's just to really help, we need the people around us, and whatever that family looks like. It's just, and I kind of think that just the strength that comes from one person being alone to another person supporting that person and wanting, and all being on the same page. So I always encourage my clients in therapy to bring in their significant others, and also for them to seek therapy on their own too.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, have you seen an uptick in, especially with these stay-at-home orders that we're slowly coming out of, an uptick in depression and anxiety and stuff like that? Have you seen a lot of that in your office?
Very much so. Isolation is such a big thing, especially with people who are struggling with substance abuse, depression, anxiety, just not being able to reach out. And I know there have been so many wonderful ways to stay connected, and I've been involved in some of the telehealth also, and that works. But I think that some of the best treatment I can provide and that my clients can get is in person, and the feeling of isolation and loneliness has increased so much. And then also a lot of people are going through a grief process of just the way their lives were pre-COVID-19. They could be financial, it could be anything. I've also seen statistics that substance abuse has risen dramatically. Suicide rates are going up, and I'm not surprised at all. After 9/11, suicide, substance abuse rose very significantly, and I think that this is so much bigger than that was, just in terms that it affects everyone. So I'm thinking that treatment centers are gonna be really, really busy. So,
It's increasing. Yes, Gail, it's very much increasing. What I want to ask you, so grief, what kind of modalities do you like to use with people to help them walk down the path of, is it, correct me if I'm wrong, is it relieving grief or is it acknowledging grief?
I think the first step in any kind of therapy is just acknowledging, of course, it's acceptance, and helping them to realize that all grief is justified, and people grieve individually in different ways, and just acknowledging it, becoming aware of it, and then looking to what strengths do I possess. A lot of people have a really hard time seeing that. That I always like to say that there's a light that shines in every single person, and as a therapist, I see that light that shines in people, and I just want it to shine brighter. And a lot of people who come to me are feeling pretty dull, pretty depressed, and not. So I guess to answer your question in a long, like rambling way, I look for the strengths. I look for what do we have here that we can be grateful for. And I'm a strong believer that when you live in gratitude, you can't be sad, you can't be mad, you can't be any of those things. And good mental health has a lot to do with gratitude, with just finding tools to. I work a lot teaching people how to meditate. Just simple breathing techniques. Sometimes just some of it seems so silly. I worked as a crisis counselor for a while when I first got out of graduate school. And I remember telling clients sometimes they'd call me, and all of my clients had suffered some pretty serious crisis. And I would ask them if they could go take a shower or wash their hair or paint their nails if it was a female client. And I know they would probably at first think, oh my gosh, what is this woman telling me to do? This Gail, but it's kind of like I think of, and I am a believer. I think when you have so little control, which right now I think a lot of people are grieving the lack of control over just about everything, you kind of have to put things in, what do I have control over? So yeah, I have control over taking a shower or cleaning out a drawer, and I can get a little positivity from doing those little things until I'm ready to tackle some of the bigger stuff.
So what I pick up on is the grief process is all about action.
Definitely.
Acknowledging that I have a situation to grieve from. So taking ownership of it, which is a lot of the path of recovery, right?
Yes.
Owning it, seeking help, bringing more people in, getting into action, being affirmed for the actions that we're taking, which then takes our mind off of it.
Right.
And then bringing the light in. I really like what you said about bringing the light in and then seeing the mirrors behind you on your screen.
Oh yeah.
And the light, there's beams of light in the screen. I mean, it's like that right there is the essence of, and then you totally take your brain off of what you're grieving about.
Exactly. And I love something that you just said too about it's not about shame or blame. It's just about claim. Just take that shame and blame out, because a lot of my clients come in and they're feeling really upset about something they've done, something maybe that was done to them, and just claiming it and just putting it there kind of compartmentalizes it a little bit. And then we can work with that. Okay, we claim our part. And so now I do a lot of solution focused work, client-centered therapy. And then one thing I was going to say, just because I do believe in a higher power, that someone recently said, and I loved it, and I use this, is, just things we do have control over, put those on your to-do list, and then think about the things you have no control over. Go ahead and put those on your to-pray list. And I've found that during this crisis that we've been going through, this pandemic crisis, my to-pray list is a little bit longer than my to-do list, but that's okay. And it's going to be okay.
Yeah. So, I heard what you said. You like meeting with people in person.
I do.
So tell us personally, has it been difficult to adapt to make connections through the video? What's the avenue of connection?
Yeah, telehealth for me, I've met some brand new clients that I've never seen in person. So I have some clients that I've only seen through telehealth.
Yeah.
And I'm just more of a people person. I like to be able to look in their eyes. I like to be able to, I'm also a hugger, not that I'm hugging all my clients or anything like that, but
yeah.
For me personally, I just like to be in a room with the person I'm talking to. I don't have to physically touch them, but I get their energy more than on a screen. And I think you can get great therapy through telehealth if it is all that is available. And some of the groups I've done, I think have really been wonderful. I've done some of the telehealth groups for Arise Counseling, and they're supporting each other. They're outside of treatment. They're going to Zoom meetings. There's NA, AA, OA, you name it, MA. There's every kind of 12-step Zoom going on right now in the world, and that's really cool. And Smart Recovery is online, and Celebrate Recovery is online. So I think we're really learning how to use technology and making it work.
We're utilizing it. We're getting into action around it.
Yes.
I liked hearing what you said about I keep going back to the grief part. And I just was thinking to myself when I was listening to you talk is the lack of travel that I've been able to do because of this. It's been a period of grieving for myself. And talking about it with others diffuses that grief. So I really like the story that you shared with me. You met Lauren at a in-person event in Dallas, and you guys made a connection, which two people persons,
right?
Like a two people eater. Anyways, y'all connected, and I love hearing that. And so your private practice office is in a very good area of you're in the Park Cities area, is that right?
Yes. I'm on Webb Avenue, right near Knox Henderson, in Highland Park, right off 75. It's kind of centrally located in the Park City.
Yeah. Now, are you? I'm sure you're following the CDC guidelines and stuff. Have you started thinking about possibly seeing some clients in person? Not yet.
I have,
definitely.
And I have the groups that I've done this week were in-person groups.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. And we're limiting it to 10. We can't have more than so that's 9 people.
Yes, including you.
Yeah. We're not breaking the law.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been really good. And I see it as they're lessening the restrictions that we're going to be able to see a lot more.
That is great news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So has that give you a new sense of regeneration?
It has. It's just I'm not a person who likes to sit around and not do anything, and I just really get a lot of my energy from having a purpose. And I think that's another thing that people have been grieving lately, is just that feeling that that their purpose, if they're not able to go to work or provide for their family, their purpose isn't there. So they're struggling with that. So so I look forward to the our new normal, but find maybe new and different ways for people to get out there and connect with others.
Well, Gail, you're very easy to connect with. I can tell you that. And
Thank you.
whoever gets the opportunity to come receive guidance and help on a path of freedom, please reach out to Gail York. You're not going to be disappointed. I'm quite sure that Marjorie and the team at Arise, there was no coincidence them enlisting your abilities to help their organization. So I can't thank you enough for taking the time for us to share with everybody about Gail York and what you're bringing to the Dallas-Fort Worth area in recovery.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to a day where I get to meet you in person.
Well, thank you. And then Lauren, I'm sure, is excited to come over and see you at your office again.
Yes, I can't wait.
Have a great evening. Thank you so much, Gail.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Gail, again. And Arise, you're very blessed to have her services with your organization. Burning Tree Programs, again, I'm going to share with you. We're a family-owned organization. We were created in 1999 with one man's vision, and that was David Elliott. David Elliott founded us and created Burning Tree Ranch. It's a long-term drug and alcohol treatment center for men and women. Average length of stay is 8 to 14 months. The Burning Tree Ranch specializes in the chronic relapser. It has a year of transitions there in the Dallas area post-residential treatment. In 2004, David Elliott created Burning Tree Lodge in Elgin. It's about 23 miles east of Austin. David brought on a gentleman named Peter Pirano as the chief operating officer, and they rebranded the lodge and wanted to help more people. So Burning Tree Lodge became Renewal Lodge by Burning Tree. It is a clinically advanced mindfulness approach to the 12 steps. And to allow us to help more people, we structured the program which would allow insurance to be utilized, health insurance. It is an in-network provider for pretty much all major U.S. providers of health insurance in the United States. Earlier this year, with Peter's direction and David's willingness, they teamed up with Jessica and Josh Slay to reopen and improve on the mission of Women Helping Women at Awakenings Hill Country. It's in Fredericksburg, Texas. Very much a 12-step based program with a lot of trauma and psychodrama modalities to help women with women's issues, to help them get into recovery and maintain a life of abundance. And David Elliott found his path of freedom in Tucson, Arizona. And David created Burning Tree West. Burning Tree West is a young adult program with a collegiate track. And they have a wonderful crew of people out there. It also helps men and women, 18 to usually 28. And then at Burning Tree West, we have the ability to provide for the Tucson area transitional living for men and women, and very affordable. So give us a call if you ever need anything. If we can't be a fit for you, we want to help you find your own path of freedom. So very honored, and thank you for your time for watching Burning Tree Program.